What's going on? What's going on, brothers? What is going on? Um, Press a one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Mayday, mayday. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Who's here? How's the audio? Is it clean, crisp, and concise? Let me know right now. Okay. Let me know. Who's here? Press a one in the live stream chat. Who's here? How's the audio? Is it good? Intellect, appreciate you for confirming, brother. Who's here? Base Pill Clips, Byzantine Dream. Awesome. Can I get one more one in the building? One more one. One more one. Give me one more one. Who's here? One more one. We got 14 people watching so far. Can we get the audio? Who's here? Press a one in the live stream chat if my audio is clean, crisp, and concise. Herman Irish. Awesome. Awesome. So let's get straight into it, brothers. Okay, we have a very special stream here today. But before I go any further, I want to say a huge thank you for the support over the past couple of years. And welcome aboard the new people. You know, I accept and I embrace you with open arms. When you come in the live stream today, please hit the like button, hit the super chats, hit the PayPal, show me some support. Hit the Patreon too, join the Patreon. Some impressive content coming on Patreon very, very soon. Okay, probably as soon as next week. So go and join the Patreon. Okay. Of course, book your IT consultations with me for IT guidance. Check out the Kindly link below in the description box. And of course, cop the merch, man. Okay. So let's get straight into it, brothers. Okay. Let's get straight into it. As you can see, the title of this live stream is "You Are Lame for Watching Anime and Playing BeyBlade. Making of Passport Bros Episode 4, Educated Nerd." So over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing streams about what made me become a Passport Bro. What were the circumstances in my life that made International Passport become a Passport Bro? You know, before this stream I did, you know, am I uglier than Shrek? Press a one in the live stream chat right now if you watch that stream called "Am I Uglier Than Shrek?" Powerful stream. Okay. Before that, I spoke about how the white man runs the West. Okay. Right. I'm giving y'all, brothers, the insight into International Passport. Okay. But in this stream, you know, I want to talk about the plight of the educated black nerd, the plight and the hardships of the educated black nerd in the West. That me, myself, I do call myself an educated black nerd. I'm a nerdy brother. Okay. And being a nerdy brother in the West, it is hell for brothers. As a nerdy, educated black man, it is hell in the West. But before I even go further in this live stream, press a 2 in the live stream chat if you have ever been asked, are you really black? Press a 2 in the live stream chat. Press a 2 in the live stream chat. Has anyone ever asked you, are you really black? As an educated, nerdy black man? Press a 2 in the live stream chat. Because tonight, we're going to break it down tonight, brothers. We're going to break it down. Okay? I've been asked that from people not only outside of my community, in the black community, but by black people themselves in the black community. Are you truly black? International Passport? So why was I asked that? I was asked that because people looked at me, people hung out around me, people observed me, and they knew off rip that I'm not the average brother. I'm not a brother that smokes that green, that's a gangbanger, that that sags his pants. I'm not the kind of brother that does that in the West, because there's plenty of brothers that do that. I'm not a brother that says the N word every 5 seconds. I'm not a brother that that doesn't take education seriously. And when people observed me, when they came around me, when they asked me questions, people of my own community asked me, international passport, are you really black? Let's break it down. Okay. What does it mean to be an educated black nerd? Before I even knew I was an educated black nerd, I wanna take it back in time, when I remember back in the day, in the early 2000s, I fell in love with anime. I think I remember the first ever anime I watched or bought was, I think it was Ghost in the Shell, if I'm not mistaken, brothers. Classic, classic. And ever since I started watching that, brothers, I fell in love with anime, and the stereotypical nerd things, right? You know, it's crazy. I remember that. And I remember that defining who I was as a nerdy brother. I remember being back then. I used to love computers. I used to watch anime, read manga. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to play BeyBlade. So I remember being that kind of black man, a nerdy brother, educated nerdy brother who was book smart. And I remember people in my community, in schools, looked at me weird, looked at me funny. The first time I was ever called a lame or corny was when, you know, I brought an anime CD to school, and I told everyone, yo, everyone, watch this anime, watch it, buy it. And they all looked at me funny. Why is IP showing me a bunch of cartoons? Why is IP, talking about, all these kind of cartoons where, the people don't even speak English? I was called a lame for that, brothers. I was called a lame. The 90s was rough. It was very rough, because if you weren't a particular type of brother, you weren't getting no love. You weren't getting no love. I want to speak about a couple of things, right, that made things hard for me as a educated nerd, or what they would call an educated lame, in the West. And the first topic here is black women and dating. Black women in the West were my preference, my number one preference. Black women were my number one preference. I think I made it very clear. I've always wanted a black English chick, a black English chick. Give me a black UK chick. That was my original preference. But for some odd reason, I couldn't pull a dime black English chick. They weren't checking for me. I remember. And I knew this one black girl, right? I was quite close with her, I remember back then. And I asked her, yo, why ain't the black girls love me? And she told me the truth. IP, you a nerd. Everyone says you're a nerd, and the women don't want anything to do with you. So can you imagine being a brother when you're educated, when you're a nerd, when you're a good brother, when you're book smart, right? When you're focused, and the women in your community find that disgusting. They find that disgusting. I remember seeing brothers who were not nerds, brothers who were, the bad boys, sagging their pants, smoking that green, selling that green, being thugs, being clowns, being class clowns, and they were getting all the black woman I wanted, all the black woman I wanted that I found attractive. The Pookies and the Ray Rays were snapping them up like Pokemon. I remember, but back then, passport bros didn't even exist. Passport bros didn't even exist. It wasn't even a concept back then. Over 20 years ago, over 25 years ago, passport bros did not exist in the 90s. So here I am, a brother, just keeping cool, just being sharp, trying to get my grades up, falling in love with anime, falling in love with manga, going to the shops every day to buy manga. And the woman found me disgusting. Yo, black women they weren't feeling me. They weren't feeling an educated nerd like me. And it came to a point where I was so frustrated. That's who I am as a brother. That is my identity. That was my identity back then. Being black, being educated, and being nerdy. Loving anime, loving manga. That was my identity. Wow. So back then, I wanted a woman so much, a black chick. I was desperate for a black woman. I was desperate for it. But none of the black chicks cared about Cowboy Bebop, Gundam, Ghost in the Shell. They didn't care about that. They didn't care about Ninja Scroll back then in the 90s. So guess what? I had to Pookiefy myself up. I had to become a Pookie and a Ray Ray to get woman. I had to remove that nerdy, educated image from my life to get a black woman to notice me. And guess what, brothers? The woman started coming in. They started coming in like, like a bee being like bees being attracted to honey. It was crazy. So as soon as I started being more hood, more thug, as soon as I started being like a bad boy, being rude to my teachers, swearing, talking like a Pookie, black women love that. Black women love that. And I remember one of the most beautiful black women in my year giving me play. IP, you changed IP? Oh, I like this kind of IP. So I couldn't be myself, brothers. And that's my point here. This is why being a passport bro means everything to me. I can go to any country and be myself. But in the West, I can't be an educated black nerd, or I won't get any woman at all. Let's keep it a stack. Press a 5 in the live stream chat if you agree with me. You know I'm speaking facts, brothers. You know I'm speaking facts, man. You can't be a nerdy, educated black man in the West and expect to get woman. You must put up an act. And I'm ashamed that For a long time. For a long time, brothers, I put on an act. For a long time, brothers, I put on an act to keep my black girlfriend back in the day. Oh, she loved me. She was in love with me. She loved the new IP. IP swearing, IP being the bad boy, you know? IP giving no Fs just to get a black woman. But deep down, brothers, I knew that wasn't me. I am telling you this, right, to make you aware that you will not succeed in the West. You will not succeed in the West if you are a nerdy, educated black man. You won't succeed in dating whatsoever. Black women don't want that kind of black guy. Black women don't want that kind of black man. I've lived it and I've been through it, and it almost destroyed me. Why? Why? Because I'm not being my true self. I couldn't read manga in school anymore. I couldn't speak about, I had to get new friends. I remember I was with a bunch of other nerdy brothers. Those were my guys, bro. Those were my guys. And I had to leave that group, right? To become a Pookie and a Ray Ray and a Thug just to get woman, just to date black women. That ain't right, bro. That ain't right, bro. That ain't right. But that's the West for you. That is the West for you when you want educated black men. So for me to get black woman, the top-notch black woman, I had to become a Thug, a Pookie, and a Ray Ray. And every day I was cosplaying, I was acting like a Thug. It was hurting me inside, man. So that's black woman there. Number two, a white woman. As you know, the UK is a majority white country. There were white women everywhere. Look forward, look north, west, south, east. You will see white women everywhere. And even with white women, they want that thuggish type of brother. Now, I don't know. Now, remember, I'm not American. I am talking purely, from a UK perspective. In the UK, Becky's love the rapper type brother, the Central Seas type brother, the Dave type brother, the YG type brother, the Future type brother. If you are a thug, if you are a thuggish black guy in the UK, you can get a top-notch white chick. So I remember even in school, right? Even in school, Becky was giving me signals. I remember ever since I switched up from a nerdy, educated black man into a thug, Becky was giving me the eye, giving me heavy, choosing signals. What does that tell you, bro? It ain't no lie when me and Theo say that women in the West, they truly love bad boys. They truly love thugs. They love criminals. I remember a couple years ago, right? There was this light-skinned black guy. He has blue eyes. He got tats on his face, tats everywhere. He went viral for a prison mugshot. And women of all races in the West, in the UK, in America, in Australia, they were going crazy over him, even though he was a criminal or he did something criminal. Western women love criminals. So essentially, right? You gotta thug it up. You gotta be a thug. You gotta be selling that yayo, that pure white. Even women who are educated in the West, right? Sometimes, right, art normally imitates life. Okay. There's a TV show called Top Boy in the UK. Top Boy. And in season 1 or 2, there's this black female lawyer that is representing, a dealer, a brother that sells that white, that yayo. And then she ends up dating him. So even professional, so-called educated sisters, they love them a thug. They love them a Pookie and a Ray Ray. She might be a doctor, she might be a lawyer, she might be an accountant. But guess what, right? Guess what? Okay? Guess what? She wants that type of guy. So for many years, brothers, for many years, I was cosplaying. I was cosplaying as a thug. I was dressing like a thug, behaving like a thug. And when I'd come home, the facade would drop. I remember I come home from school, okay, and I would watch anime, pop the CD in the CD player, watch anime, read manga, and do nerdy stuff. Back then we had, uh, Sega Saturn, we had all these old gaming consoles in the 90s, late 80s. I remember. Then tomorrow I go to school and I would change it into a complete different person. That's not healthy, brothers. If you can't be who you are in the West, you're wasting your time. So I remember behaving like a thug, right, for a long time. Okay. And it became mentally draining. To keep my girlfriend, I had to, behave a certain way, speak a certain way, act a certain way. It came to a point where it was mentally destroying me. So I remember one day I just said, I said to myself, international passport, you're a nerd, you love anime, you read manga, you play video games, you do nerdy stuff. That is who you are, IP. That is your identity. Don't change yourself for no woman. So I remember, right, I brought manga to school again. And I was with my black girlfriend at the time, okay? And I'm reading a manga, right? And she gives me the most weird look. She's like, IP, what is that? And I tell her, this is just comics, Japanese comics. She's like, Japanese comics? What? Yeah, I mean, I read it in my free time. Here, take a look. She just slaps my hand away. What the flip? She's like, don't bring that around me and my friends. I'm like, yo, it's just a book, you know? So when I started being more like myself, my girlfriend was becoming more distant. Brothers, man. The West ruins brothers, man. The West ain't for brothers. A lot of brothers, guess what, brothers, right? Brothers, I will keep you, right? Brothers, I will keep it a stack, right? A lot of black men right now who are thugs, who are selling that yayo, who are Pookies and Ray Rays. Okay? They don't want to do it. They're doing it to get women. And a lot of guys are fug maxing, so to speak, right? They are sagging their pants. They're smoking that yayo. They're behaving like thugs. They do it for the sole purpose of getting women. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, brothers. Let's keep it 100. A lot of black men are not living, are not expressing who they truly are as brothers, man. They're living a lie. A lot of black men are living lies just to get women and keep women. And it came to a point where I could not do it anymore. I couldn't. I couldn't. So eventually I reverted back to my old ways, who I am. And guess what? She dumped me. And throughout those years of being an educated nerd, I would go on dates. I would tell women I love anime. I read manga. I love Japan. I love, I love reading comics, Batman comics. Woman looked at me like I was a monster. A lot of women, right, whether she's white, black, Indian, Chinese, they don't expect brothers to have nerdy hobbies. Press a 2 in the chat if you get me. If you are a black guy and you tell a non-black person, I don't listen to rap music, they look at you funny. Have you ever experienced that? Tell your non-black friend that you don't listen to rap music. They're like, what? What do you mean? And that's my point. We are pigeonholed and stereotyped to be one single black man in the West, in America, in the UK. There's been situations where, I would tell a black woman that I'm seeing, right, that rap music isn't my favorite genre. Do it as a test. I remember doing it as an experiment, right? And I would tell her, right, I don't like rap music. And they're like, what? Okay, IP, what do you like? I like anime soundtracks. I like the Bleach soundtrack. and I will show her on my phone on YouTube, right? I never got a call back. Mm-mm-mm. I never got a message anymore from any woman. But when I did say that I love rap music, women would reply back to me. Oh wow, okay, IP. Who's your favorite rapper, IP? IP, what's your favorite rap song, IP? That is disgusting. Black men are pigeonholed to be one particular type of black guy in the West. Black men are stereotyped to be one particular type of black man in the West. So when you are not a stereotypical black guy, okay, when if you're not a a headphone wearing, listening to rap 24/7 black guy, saying the n-word, right, behaving a certain way, right, if you're not good at sports, basketball, soccer, football, women don't want anything to do with you. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it real. I ain't lying to you, man. There's been situations where I've said some things that are not typical of a black guy. Woman didn't want anything to do with me, you know? If you're a black guy and you tell a woman in the West that you don't like rap music, she's thinking, is he really black? And that goes to my point again. How many times have you heard in your life that, hey, are you really black? There's been situations where I've got black friends in the UK, right? And they tell me that their non-black friend said to them that I'm more blacker than you. Not skin color wise, but in terms of culture. Hey, I'm more blacker than you, bro. That's not on. That is not on. It proves my point. If you don't speak a certain way, if you don't have a particular accent or a particular bass in your voice, a particular nuance or a particular what's the word for it, cadence to your voice, they're thinking, is that a black guy? If you don't wear a certain dress sense, attire, if you don't wear streetwear, if you don't wear Supreme, if you don't wear Fear of God, if you don't wear Fear of God, Supreme, and all these streetwear, people are questioning, is that a black guy? Is he really black? Whew. Hmm. Brothers, man. This passport bro movement, it done saved me, man. It saved me. It saved me. Because in Panama, I can be a black nerd and get woman. In Japan, I can be a black educated nerd and get woman. In Morocco, I can be a black educated nerd and get woman. I can be a black nerd. I don't have to fug it up in Japan. I don't have to be hood in Panama. I can be myself. I can be myself, brothers. Even at work, if you don't behave a certain way, if you're quiet, if you're not making people laugh, have you noticed that? If you're a black nerd, right, in the workplace, right, and you ain't being the center of attention, you're not talkative, okay, you're not saying good morning to everyone, you're not making people laugh, people start being suspicious of you. Press a 5 in the chat if you are experiencing that, if you've experienced that before or you are currently experiencing that. If you're not a particular type of black guy in the workplace, right, people start thinking that, is there something wrong with this guy? Feel like you're weird, you're different. We've been stereotyped, we've been pigeonholed for far too long, in the West. We have been pigeonholed, stereotyped in every area of our lives, in the workplace, in dating, in marriage, in partying, in even having hobbies. Even having hobbies, bro. If your hobbies are not stereotypically black, dating will be hard for you. Finding a woman will be hard for you. Getting a wife will be hard for you. You know, opportunities will be hard for you. If you don't have your stereotypical black hobbies, rap music, playing basketball, chilling with the homies, you know, drinking a bottle of 40s, drinking a bottle of 40s, in the park, smoking that green. People are thinking you're weird. And it got to a point where I got sick of it because I don't engage in those actions. Yeah, yeah, I like rap. I like rap music. I listen to it here and there. But guess what? I listen to different genres of across music. You know, people find it weird that IP likes rock music. IP likes electronic music. IP likes, ambient music. IP likes, you know, uh, um, music from different countries, Japanese music, Portuguese music. So, how can you reach your true potential in a society, particularly in the West, in America, in the UK, as a black man, as a nerdy black man? You got to get your passports. You got to get your passport. The West is not for nerdy, educated, smart black men. It's not. It's not. Because the West has particularly pigeonholed black men into being one particular type of black guy. And if you're not that type of black guy, life will be very hard for you. If you are not the class clown, if you're not, the basketball star, if you're not, sagging your pants, if you're not, the sense of attention, don't date in the West. But if you're a nerdy black guy that likes anime, reads manga, you will have a terrible time in every area of your life. Essentially, right, you're invisible. You're invisible. Me being a nerdy, educated black man in the UK, I am invisible to many people, particularly women. I don't dress like the typical black guy in the UK. I don't wear sweatpants. I don't wear hoodies. I do not wear that. You know, I wear nice shoes, right? I wear a suit, and women don't even look my way. Not that I want Western women anymore. I'm just giving you the observation. But every time I go out in this, in the city, I see bummy looking brothers with women. Brothers, I see women, right, who are all dressed up, wearing heels, makeup, a nice, beautiful dress of all races, and they are holding hands with a brother that's in sweatpants. That's in sweatpants. I mean, bro, bro. I mean, dusty looking brothers are holding hands with women who are dressed up for the night. I don't see high value women with high value black men in the West. I don't see it. In the UK, I don't see it. They don't want nerdy, educated brothers because we don't fit the stereotype. A lot of Becky's, right, have this image of black guys. A lot of Becky's have this image of black guys. Becky has black guys who are 6'5", who have long dreads, who are thuggish looking, who sell that yayo, okay, who act thug. Becky has that stereotype. Majority, not all, but a good amount. If you don't fit that and you're into white chicks, you can forget about dating a white girl in the West. You can forget about dating a white woman in the West if you ain't the stereotypical black guy. Let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it 100. Whew. Let's keep it real. So having the passport is essential for nerdy brothers like myself and like for you. It's essential. It is essential. It is essential, particularly if you are in multicultural cities where women of all races see black men in one particular image. I'm in a suit. I am in nice shoes. My shirt is ironed. I got a nice tie. Women don't even look at me twice. I'm invisible in the UK. I'm invisible. I am completely invisible. But I guarantee you, if I had, maybe some silver teeth in my, in the front or the back where you can see it, if I'm in green sweatpants, if I'm wearing, Los Angeles Dodgers baseball tee, if I'm sagging my pants, if I got a New York Jets snapback hat, oh Lord, I'll be sweeping easily. So as I end my statement here, if you are a brother that doesn't fit the stereotype, if you are a black guy that doesn't fit the stereotype, what it is to be a black man in the West, please get your passport, man. Please get your passports. Please. You're not going to do well in the West. You're not. If you are not the stereotypical black guy, people think that you're not really black. I can be myself abroad. I can take all my mangas and watch anime abroad, and a foreign chick don't care, bruv. I was watching, I remember I think I was in a in a I was in a comic store actually in Panama, and I even saw Latina woman in a comic store. And of course, your dude cold approached, and it was an easy conversation. In the UK, when I go comic stores, all I see is ugly chicks, women who are low value, or you know, nerdy dudes. I don't see the average dime there. But in Panama, I saw dimes in the comic stores. That's my point, brothers. The West is a weird society, bruv. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird, bro. Passport Bro saved me. It saved me, man. Before it was even called Passport Bro, just traveling, meeting women, being myself abroad, not having to be a thug. It saved me, man. Because brothers, I was losing it, man. Losing my mind. Have you ever, stared at the mirror for a long time and questioned your existence, who you are as a person, your identity, and of course, telling yourself, are you ugly? Am I uglier than Shrek? I reached a low point like that. And I'm giving you that real. I'm not here to lie to you, brothers. Looking in the mirror for an hour straight, telling myself, like a mantra, am I uglier than Shrek? Am I uglier than Shrek? Am I ugly than Shrek? That is no way to live life. You have to find a solution to your problems. And the problem for me was that Me being an educated, nerdy black man. Me being a nerdy, educated black man. I'm invisible. Invisible not only to people who are not in the black community, but invisible to people in the black community. No brother wants to be your friend. Press a 5 in the chat, right? Where a brother doesn't want anything to do with you because you watch anime, you read manga, you're a nerd. I've been called I've been called corny so many times by my own brothers and sisters in the community. I've been called lame, you know. I've been called a cartoon watcher because I ain't the stereotypical black guy. Wow. It's painful, man. It's painful. Educated black men, we're going through a lot, man. We're going through a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. Sometimes you're thinking, who am I? Who am I? You know, you should never, ever become a thug just to get women. A lot of dudes are in jail right now because of women. Let's keep it real. A lot of guys are in jail right now because they did too much for women. They thug maxed. They were acting up. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get your passport. Get your passport. I almost lost it all. I almost went that route. I almost went deep into being a thug, being a gangbanger, just to get women. I'm keeping it real with you, brothers. I almost did it until I said to myself, this ain't me. This ain't you, IP. This ain't you, bro. You ain't gotta lie to kick it. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my dude. You ain't gotta try so hard. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my brother. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my brother. You ain't gotta try so hard. And that's word to Kendrick Lamar, man. To Pimp a Butterfly, go check out the album, man. Classic. If you know, you know. But guess what, brothers? You ain't gotta lie to kick it, bro. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, brother. Be yourself. I can be myself abroad. I can walk around wearing a suit, right? Can you imagine a black guy, right? A black guy, a dark-skinned black guy like me, right? Walking around the mall with manga in his hand, a One Piece manga. Can you imagine that, bro? In the West, tell me how many times, right, you've seen a black guy in the West wearing a suit, holding a One Piece manga. That's flipping awesome, bro. But for me, right? For me, I can be in Japan. I can be in Panama. I can be in a blue suit holding manga, and women will look at me, check for me. You know? You know? But I could never do that in the West. A sister will look at me. Okay, he's in a suit, but why is he holding a cartoon book? And she would just walk away and look at me and look at me funny. I can be who I am abroad, bro. And I'll keep it real with you, brothers. I'm a nerdy brother. I'm a nerdy, educated brother, and I'm proud of that, bro. I am proud of being a nerdy, educated brother. That's who I am, bro. And the foreign chicks I know, they know who I am. They know my identity. They know who International Passport is. This passport, bro, stuff, man. It saved me, bro. It saved me. And guess what? It will save you too. Being an educated nerd made me into a passport, bro. Made me who I am. Made me who I am. So as I end this segment over here, please call in if you have any, if you want to share your experience being a nerdy brother and struggling getting women, struggling with your identity, being angry, being frustrated, not knowing anybody, not knowing if any woman would check in for you, angry at the world, angry that woman never showed you love for watching anime, reading manga, etc., etc. Tell us your story, bro. You know, it is awesome being on the beach, chillaxing, and reading manga, and women around you from Panama, they don't give a damn if you're a nerd. Yeah, this passport bro movement. This is it, man. I'm happy I'm a passport bro. I'm happy. I made that choice. I'm so happy, man. Whew. So I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Jerome Payne for the support. Appreciate you, brother. He says here for the collection plate suit IP. Thank you, bro, for the kind words, man. Much appreciated, bro. Shout out to Volcanus for the support, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Black Wolf for the support. I love anime rap. Artists such as Rustage and Daddy D Fat Snaps. Interesting, brother. Interesting. Yeah, you know, if that's who you like, brother, you know that's you, bro. That's you. That is your identity, brother. Okay, so brother, feel happy to tell your foreign girlfriend, hey, that's what I listen to, and yeah, brother, she will accept it, bro, easily. Okay, awesome. So let me open up the phone lines, right? Okay, let's go. Copy paste. Shout out to Mr. Intellect. Thank your intellect. Thanks for the support, brother. Much appreciated, brother. For the support. Much appreciated, bro. Awesome, man. Shout out to Mr. Tiberius. Appreciate you, bro, for the support. I think I know who you are, bro. Is that who you are, brother? I think I know who you are, bro. I listen to a lot of classical music, and sister would just laugh at me. That's crazy, bro. You know, brother. Sometimes, brother, I'll keep it real with you. I like some Beethoven and some Mozart. I think what wasn't Mozart black? You know, or part black. So yeah, brother, I like some classical music sometimes. So I left them alone, and I've been happy with my Asian white woman ever since. There you go, brothers. There you go. There you go, man. Awesome super chat there, Tiberius. Appreciate you, brother, for the support. Appreciate you, bro. Awesome. So, calling brothers, and let's have a great discussion. Man, this passport bro stuff, man. I'm just you, you saved me. Traveling saved me. Having a passport it saved me, man. It mean the world to me having a passport. You know, I'd be lost without my passport. I'd be angry, frustrated. You know, I would still be looking at the mirror saying to myself, "Am I uglier than Shrek? Am I uglier than Shrek?" I'd be angry at myself for being an educated nerd. Intellect, you are confirmed. Intellect, thank you, brother. Base Murad, you're confirmed. Awesome. Intellect, your camera's on, brother. Thank you, bro. Turn your camera off. Let me bring your intellect in the background. Let's go. What's going on? It's like hiding, brother.
Hey, I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. I'm doing fantastic, bro. So, brother, break it down for us, brother. What's your thoughts on the stream? Do you have any stories you want to share with us? Break it down for us, bro.
This is this is the real one. This has been my whole life, pretty my life story, pretty much, like in a different way. But you know, I've always been a nerd, but I learned in about middle school how to keep it undercover. Like I didn't thug max, but I just kept it to myself. I just went stealth mode with it. I never told anybody really, besides my friends that knew. But I was like a completely different person when I was in school. As a matter of fact, I damn near almost failed high school because I was so busy trying to be, you know, cool and stuff. And then I joined the Air Force, 'cause I was like, ain't no college about to take me. like, and then, I joined the Air Force, and that's when I learned, you know what, I can be myself, but I just got to be more subtle with it. But I can still be myself without jeopardizing my life. When I say life, I mean like progress and stuff. So I was able to get into college when I was in the Air Force, went to, you know, turn my life around in that regard as far as academically and finances. But I've never had that experience with law women, only with B dubs. With LAW women, it was never an issue. They might look at me sideways at first when they're like, oh, but it was more like they're surprised that they didn't expect it. But I never got negative reactions from, well, that's not entirely true. There was one W that she did break up with me because I wasn't thug enough for her, but her ex was like a straight Pyru, and then she went from him to me. So so there was her. But other than her, I've never had that experience with LAW, only with BWs.
LAW meaning what's that?
Latina, Asian, white.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I
Thank
called
you.
him law, so LAW. That's the new law, LAW.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Remember bringing bass Murad in the background. What's going on, bass? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. Doing all right, brother. Fire away, bro.
Yeah, I think it's not only that, but it's also demeanor that maybe people don't like because, for example, me, I'm just speaking from personal experience. I wear, for example, sweatpants. I wear like sweatsuits. I wear like track suits, but I'm still not one of them. And it has largely to do with my demeanor. I'm rather quiet, more observant than trying to be quote unquote the life of the party or quote unquote trying to crash out. Okay, so I think it's not only your interest in anime and stuff like that, but I think it's also certain way you carry yourself that they want you to carry yourself that way. So like for example, if you're not prepared to crash out, or so to say, or if you're not prepared to be the like one of what we call what was that word they said? Like one of the bros, meaning like having a big monster truck with big old wheels and a lot of tattoos, you know, they're not gonna mess with you. But again, anime does play a factor. If you do uh bust out with something like, for example, one anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorites, they're going to look at you and even will say things like it'll unfortunately be condescending. They will say things like, "Tell me you don't get women without telling me you don't get women." You know what I mean? So it's an overall thing. Yes, anime it has a place in it, but it's just overall your demeanor. If you're not doing things like little baby is doing, if you're not doing things like uh these people are doing, they're just not going to want you. And I'll land my plane there. Demeanor plays a part. That's just my position.
Facts, bro. Absolute facts. Do you want to add to that intellect?
um, Yeah, I mean, I think he's right because I've always, like I said, I tried doing the sagging my pants thing in high school, but I got out of that real fast. Like once I got out of high school, I was like, that's not me. I've always been a button up type guy or sweaters or. So yeah, and for me, it wasn't anime. I didn't actually get into anime until pretty recently. But for me, when I was younger, it was actually D&D was my thing, and I didn't tell nobody. And I love Star Trek, I love Star Wars, I love D&D. Man, I didn't tell no woman that. That was a state secret.
Wow. Incredible, brother. Incredible. Great story so far, brothers. So, brothers, call in if you want to chime in and add your own story and how you feel about the stream, brothers. Over to you, Mr. Bay Street. Do you want to touch on any more?
Sure. So, like, also, even in terms of, me, I still like reading hardcore, like hardcover books, like physical books. So even that is not looked at as a thing to do. Like, and sometimes your best ideas will come from books, So if they see you with a book, for example, it actually makes them mad. I remember one time, when I did drink Starbucks, I was reading a book on where I am right now because I was always planning on going. I was reading a book on the history of Grenada. This one AA woman said she whispered to her friends, and she was overweight. She was overweight.
Shocking.
So what happened was she whispered to her friend. She didn't think I heard it. She said, yeah, this guy doesn't get any kind of women, this, that, and the other. And I said just kind of to myself, I said, this woman doesn't get any kind of gym time. And she heard me. And she lost her mind. She lost her mind. And I acted so sarcastic about it. I'm like, you heard me say that? Oh, I'm sorry. You may have been hearing things. I could have been commenting about the book I'm reading, So again, your demeanor, what you're into, it's just basically that's just how it is in the West. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. If you have like a general interest, and I'm just gonna land my plane here. I don't want to be long-winded. But if you have a general interest, what I've learned in the West, if you have a general interest in financially enriching yourself, physically enriching yourself, mentally enriching yourself, emotionally enriching yourself, your resistance is going to come from the very, very same people that tell you to be better, which is the Western woman.
Awesome. Great breakdown there, Mr. Base, and incredible stream so far. Do you have any new you want to chime in, Mr. Intellect?
That personally hasn't been my experience, but that's just me. As far as like I've never gotten any personally pushback from self-improvement or from reading hard copy books, but again, that's just my experience. I can't discredit anyone else's experience and what they've gone through.
Okay, awesome. So, calling brothers, if you want to share your experience, if this applies to calling. If you have any questions, your question in PayPal or super chat donation. Okay.
Awesome. I will share a story. The one time I did catch flack for reading, it was actually from Black men. It wasn't from women at all. I was down. This is when I was stationed in Mississippi. Go figure. And I was, they used to have the Walden books. They were like bookstores in the malls. This is back in the mid 2000s. And I used to go all the night. Whenever I went to the mall, my girl at the time, she was a civilian and she worked at Foot Locker. So I would go to Walden Books and I'd wait for her to get off work, pick her up, we'd do whatever. And so I was in the bookstore and these three civilian black men was walking through the mall and caught me in the act of committing the crime of reading. And the one in the middle like tapped his two boys and pointed, and like they're in the middle of the mall and I'm in the store. So like I'm a good, 20, 30 feet away from them. And he points at me and just loud, boisterously in the middle. Everybody can hear. Goes, look at this inward reading and ish in the middle of the mall. It was so embarrassing. And I'm just looking at them. And I bury my head and they're laughing with each other. And like, and there's plenty of people around because the mall, it was the most, so it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever experienced as far as probably ever really. And yeah, so it's actually from black men that I experienced that. Pookies, naturally.
Wow. So not just women or non-black people or outside your community, but actually in your community. That's just horrible.
Yeah, I've never caught flack from women for reading. Personally, again, that's just my personal experience. They might have given me a little something for what I was reading, but yeah, as far as like just straight up being embarrassed or called out for it was actually Pookies that did it.
Wow. Okay, I got a new caller, Jay Takashi in the background. Give me a thumbs up, bro. Can I bring you in? Camera on. Give me a thumbs up, you sure? Camera on? Okay. Let me bring Jay Takashi in the background. What's going on, Jay? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine, brother IP. I had to come on for this for what you were saying earlier. You giving your story and everything. The thing is, and wow, everybody dropping off.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm about to say, come up. Everybody left. I'm like, okay, but yeah. I'm like, all right, that's crazy. But no, but realistically, yeah, like whenever you're young and you're into anime and you're black, you do get like that differently, and you kind of, like I said, you kind of like a label on your back, particularly, and it was, and trust me, there were certain people who were into it and some people who weren't, but people who were into like Pokemon or who were into Digimon, I remember this, like there were like a lot of black kids, at least where I grew up in my school, at least around that time, they would always talk about trading cards, about battling. They would bet, make deals, things like that. So so while it was kind of being frowned upon and looked at as weird upon other people people just kind of like, I guess, accepted that you liked it, like the people who actually did like it, and right around the people who also created like football cards or baseball cards or things like that. But it was a different type of group for a different type of like clique. It's the best way I can describe it for you. So like I said, let's say if you were okay, I don't think there was. I'll be honest. I don't think that we had anything like IT nerds. I promise you. I don't think there was anything like a black IT nerd. It was just more so, if you like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you like any of this, you're labeled a nerd. But like, we don't consider you a computer nerd or anything like that. You this is just what you are good at. That's what you're labeled as. But if you don't have, but if you at least don't have some type of like, I guess like kind of like, I don't want to use the term riz because I hate that term, but even have some type of swag factor to you or anything like that, like around 7th or 8th grade, then you're kind of like not going to get any attention and you're kind of really just fade into the background. But I'll give you a story right now. So when I was in it was a middle school around this time because high school very 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 much changed. I was big into Pokemon. I was a fan of the series. I watched the movies. And I used to be one of those shippers. Like I used to like write fan fiction for like certain characters. I was into writing. And people kind of make fun of me at one point in time. Like, Jay's writing Pokemon like stories and things like that. Like, he's a nerd, he's such a nerd and whatever. And I said, pardon my French, I said, damn right. Pardon my French IP, but I said, damn right. Because like I said, because you guys can't clown me for something that I love and like. I love this stuff, and I had my head held up high, but trust me, it didn't start to blossom until I got into sports and like that. And it's just like, yeah, like Jay, Jay, we know you mess with Pokemon, but you're still cool because you play basketball or football with us. So you're not like a bean sprout or whatever, things like that. Like you're not like a lukewarm like punk that we can like make fun of or whatever. Like you actually are tough. So it was just a way of acceptance. Just by a different measuring stick amongst fellow black brothers, not like fellow white people or anything like that. So that's kind of how it happened for me. And they just it kind of got left alone after like really high school. Like no one said anything. It was just like everybody has their own groups. Nobody makes fun of each other. And like even when you sit down in the cafeteria, they're the most welcoming of people. If you're an artist or if you like anime, they'll accept you. Just like certain groups.
Wow, amazing breakdown. Intellect or base, Murai, do you want to chime in or?
Yeah, I'll say too, like that. I guess you could say, I think, in my personal opinion, maybe more people would be open to being themselves if there wasn't the social engineering and the social pressure of being someone that fits the mold that they want you to be fit in. Me, I don't care. Me personally, I was born in the global South, so like I'm from the global South. That's just the bottom line. I really didn't think about like having like a desire to fit in or anything like that. Certain times, yes, for survival measures, because certain times it's a matter of survival. Sometimes you do have to adapt with certain things because you can be naive. But I believe that if there wasn't a social engineering through the music, through the entertainment, through the social media, through these things, I think there would be more people who would be open to doing and being themselves, expressing themselves, and things like that. In my personal opinion, but it's just society at large you know, that pretty much pushes you down this way. Because I hate to say it, but Western society has made everything that is supposed to be bad, it has turned it into something good or turned it into something to aspire to, unfortunately. You know, I have a friend right now, he's a barrister. He practices law. Okay. He's into law. He's a lawyer, basically, and he comes from the global South too. He tells me already that, if he didn't have insight or if he didn't have like what we call like foresight, he would have been taken to the cleaners a long time ago because of the simple fact that the women and he's a good looking man. Okay. I'm just gonna be honest. He's a good looking man, well put together, gym and everything like that. The women, the guys that the women claim that they want, he would have got taken to the cleaners a long time ago if he didn't have foresight because of the simple fact that Western women love thug max alpha simps. They love guys ready to crash out, not just B dubs all across the board. Okay, you will be surprised. They love guys ready to crash out. They love guys that fit the archetype of tattoos and everything like that. It does not matter your occupation. Okay, it matters the archetype. I don't know why that is, because they possibly think they can fix these men. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. Again, occupation, it doesn't matter what you're into either, So this is just what I want to add to that.
Facts, absolute facts, bro. Hold on. Shout out to Dark Distant for the support. I used to look up to the Power Levels of Dragon Ball Z characters on GeoCities fan sites back in the in the early 2000s. Even played SNSC ROMs on the school computer. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Memory lanes. You want to chime in, Internet Code J Takashi?
So what he was saying about the archetypes thing, I think that he is right about that because I I had these nerd interests, Star Trek, Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons. I played football. And so I think that that helped counter that because I did at least fit that part of the archetype. I was an athlete, even though I was also in the AV, the Audio Video Club. And so my teacher tapped me for we used to do a morning announcement. And so every day I would present a fact of the day. So the whole school knew who I was because I would get on there and on the morning announcement and do a fact of the day. And I would always try to find the most abstract fact. So I think I had the archetype enough that I was able to get by without some of the more extreme stories I've heard. As far as the nerd, so I was definitely a nerd, but they also knew I played football. So I think he's right about the archetype thing helping quite a bit.
Awesome, Jay. You want to chime in, bro?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all the brothers here. Like I said, it really changed. When I got into basketball. Like I said, football, basketball, really a lot of sports, and really high school, like a year of track, and then 2 years of swimming. I'm like, that's when I got noticed when my body changed and I started to put in the work. I got muscles, things like that. I was, like I said, I wasn't really part of the jocks in the sense like that, but it's just like because you're labeled as because you're kind of like with the swim team, and most of us are kind of like a mix between Latina, black, and freaking a couple of Caucasian males too as well. There's a perception about you at that point, and it kind of like just negates that whole nerd thing in that regards. So, for example, my nerdy, I guess you could say nerdy tendencies were never like how they were in high school. Like high school was a completely different person. It was just like, yo, if you love BeyBlade, that's what's up. Like people would talk to you, they're like, yo, like it's not weird anymore. You just gotta, like I said, you just gotta have some semblance of coolness to you, and you're okay for the most part. And also, but also I will say this. Somebody had in the chat just said like I used to play my Yoshi game and things like that. I was a big Sonic fan, but that's when I was really, really, really young, so that didn't really count because Sonic wasn't going out like that. But I would have conversations with fellow people who drew, who are artists. I had a black girl check me out a couple of times, at least 2 or 3 of them, at least around not to my second, like to my third to my last year, because I was doing track and swimming. And it's just like, that's when I noticed, I'm like, you're not in that era no more. Like these were actually legitimately cute, a cute black girl and a cute Latina girl. And they're checking me out particularly just because, you're not fitting that nerd archetype. Like they actually find you attractive and actually cool. So, so that's what I noticed where like the change happened. And I wasn't even focusing on the girls at the time. Them like, they just came right to me. I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But I was like, hey, take it.
Facts, absolute facts. Awesome insight so far from our guests. Awesome. Do we have any new callers? If not, I'm gonna wrap up very soon. If no new callers, awesome, man, awesome. Listen, we'll be busy today for this stream, which is cool. So let's go for closing statements. Unless you want to call in, brothers, we can go on further. But let me go to Intellect. Do you have any closing statement, brother?
What I will say is that in the West, as I've gotten older, it seems that I've gotten more, comfortable with who I am. I remember you mentioned earlier the whole like button ups and suit, and I don't really necessarily do suits, but I'll do slacks or jeans and a button up, a turtleneck. I love peacoats in the cold weather. Well, I rock a peacoat, something vicious, and with Chelsea boots. And from my experience, that seems to be a much more winning combination than the sweatpants and the jeans or the urban wear, streetwear. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe that stuff just isn't me. It doesn't fit me. Whereas my, I guess, archetype is the Chelsea boots with the jeans and the turtleneck or the button up with a pea coat. I guess that's just me, but I've noticed that as my style has matured over the years, man, yeah, it's even in the West, it's like no, for me at least, not a problem at all. I'm just like, and again, you've seen the pictures I sent you from the Philippines. I'm not. Uh, I don't have the six pack out of that 6 6 6 6 that women like. I have the other 3 6s, but I do not have a six pack, and it still has been, for me at least, not an issue. So I think maybe if you just gotta find your niche. When I say you, I just mean in general. Like each person needs to find their niche where they fit in and make the best of it from there. I mean, it's all you can do until you get your passport and go abroad.
Thank you, bro. Okay, thank you, Tech. Much appreciated, bro. Drop you off there. Mr. Base Murai, do you have any closing statements, brother, at all?
Yeah, I just want to say that, you should actually like take a pride in maybe standing out, or you should take a pride into being not of the herd. That means that you're really strong. That means you're a strong person because you're able to actually go against the grain, go against the opposing forces. So I just think that if you have an interest that maybe nobody is into, you should just like be proud of that and wear it on your sleeve, uh, in a way that's of course not hurting people, So that's just what I believe, I just think that people should be more, just more themselves, That's what I believe.
Awesome. Thank you, Base Murai. Appreciate you, brother. Mr. J, what's your closing statement there, bro?
Oh well, two quick things. One, IP. I'm glad you found anime. I'm glad you still like what you like, brother. Don't stop loving that for anybody. Be you, brother. Because the one thing I encourage is that you be yourself. Don't change for anyone. Change, like I said, if you're gonna change, then change for yourself. But keep those core things that make you who you are. Otherwise, you will change into somebody you probably don't want to be. But but who you need to be. I will say that. That's what I'll say for that. On the now the second part, real quick, just real quick. To everybody on here that sees me, that, like I said, my attire, what the brother said, intellect, that's important. Right now, I have an order coming in for a new, slim slick wear, and to everybody here, this is what I'm wearing. So, like I said, I have a business trip to plan for. But yes, updating one's wardrobe along with what you like. Like I said, you should have an attire for everything, and I think IP would agree with me. You should have an attire for everything. Like I said, if you're going to, I'm not going to say go on a date, wear a whole suit, but I'm saying like dress casual, kind of like what I have right here. Like this is pretty casual right here, but it's kind of like inside wear. So, like I said, if you're going to go out and actually be about business, wear a suit. If you're going to go out in a date, wear casual wear, something similar to this. Don't have the headphones on. That's just for this thing. And like I said, if you're going to be at your house, then you can wear, I'm not going to say thug wear or anything like that. I'll never say that. But where like I guess like some shorts and a tank top, something like that. That's fine. But the thing is, you dress to impress, and I think IP would also agree. Once you do that, trust me, you have different girls eyeing you, and also it comes with a sense of confidence that they see a black man, no matter in any of these places you go, they love that. But also, what they love more is how you speak, how you interact, how you talk. But guess what? But listen, I'm gonna say this: if she can't, I'm gonna be blunt. If she can't like the fact that you love what you love, and that's an issue for her. Hey, tell her to keep on stepping on to the next one. Don't worry about it. But like I said, be a man worth the character, integrity. I'll end it there, IP. And and brother IP, you have a good. Okay, is it morning over there for you, or is it nighttime?
It's morning for 4 a.m.
Oh, 4 a.m. Oh, brother, you gotta get some sleep, man. All right.
Mm.
Thanks for having me, man. And hey, listen, brother, keep preaching the message. You know, man. Like I said, I love the work and the content you do. Everybody subscribe. Listen, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to this man here. This man has been given the information and putting in the work. So please do him a favor and donate or subscribe. Simple enough.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated, Jay, brother. Speak to you soon, okay?
All right, you take care, brother. Have a good night. I mean, morning.
Take it easy, bro. All right, brothers, man. Great stream, brothers. I need to get some sleep. But yes, be who you are, with your passport, and go and live your dreams, right? I'm International Passport, and I see you brothers on the next video. Peace out.